all in this room tonight to hear some really amazing stories from principals who've been working with business leaders to actually do the work in the schools. I hope you will be as inspired as I always am when I listen to the principals. Now I would like to invite Louise van Rijn, the CEO and founder of Symphonia and the visionary behind the Partners for Possibility program.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being here tonight. Rosie started by saying how grateful we are, and I just get to amplify that. We in Partners for Possibility have been working hard over the last few years to see whether we can make change happen, despite all the odds. And the only reason why we have been able to keep going is because of people like you. So it's a privilege to be in the room with you, and I know that everybody who's here tonight are in the room because they want to be a contribution.
We all talk about a good story to tell. So let me talk about the good story to tell and why I got involved in this partnership. Initially, you're at work, you've got all these issues, staffing issues, legislative issues, tax issues. You get into the car and you drive home and you've got the corruption issues, you've got lights not working, you get home and the lights are off, you can't have dinner. So it's really a great story to tell. And you start complaining and you sit around with friends and you kind of complain and you think, why am I complaining? I need to make a change. And when we got to meet the partnerships, Solomon, plus all the other principals, there were a couple of things that I learned from that. Number one, they were all hugely passionate in terms of what they were doing. The teachers were passionate, which was unlike the conversations I was having at these dinner conversations. But the issues that they had to go through were huge, much bigger than what I needed to go through in my business. And I spoke to some of the principals and I said, with all these issues, why don't you go and work at the 20% of schools that are working? Not one of them wanted to actually work at a private school. They were all passionate and really wanted to make a difference in these schools.
Colleagues, Partnership for Possibilities in South Africa has been a great journey to me. Time to think where I can contract the parents. Parents are able to take this education very much seriously. They are able to come on Saturdays and support their children. They are attending the meetings now. Our school indeed has changed. The partnership that which I have with Mr. Oresti here has changed even my family, because this thing is not about the school only. Once the principal starts to smile from home, when he comes to school also, the learners and the teachers, they smile.
I stand as a lonesome person here tonight, but I must give all acknowledgement to the principal of Fairview High School, Mrs. Kruger. Unfortunately, she could not be here tonight, but I've just seen with the passion and the drive, what you're about to witness tonight is all evidence of one individual who will drive the school in the sense that from a leadership perspective, unassuming lady, has been such a great model from almost a dichotomous school where there's a richer Model C and a very poor impoverished school. But that partnership has just been absolutely amazing from what we've seen.
Education is the great engine of personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor. The son of a mine worker can become the head of a mine, that the child of farm workers can become the president. When I thought about this initiative, Partners for Possibility, and some of the examples that have been given to us today, I reflected on a story that was in the media today it was from Cliff Central. They told us a story about a college called Masibambane, which is in the township, one of the poorest townships in this country, called Orange Farm. It's here in Gauteng, where the children there got 100% pass rate in matric last year. It was the third year of having matriculants. And 76% of those children got a university exemption. Now, we always say that the reason children are doing badly in matric is because of apartheid, is because of the inequalities between the historically black townships and the historically white suburban schools. But this is one school that has proven that if you do something like what Partners for Possibility is doing, you can change the course of history. That any school really can be transformed into a center that creates competent human beings, confident human beings who become leaders of this country. So if you are contributing into an education system that frees the mind, that liberates every child, you are contributing in the elimination of poverty, you are contributing towards the elimination of inequality, and you are contributing towards a more peaceful and stable world. Thank you to Partners for Possibility. Thank you to the business community that is part of this project. I am hoping that all of us, in one way or another, will find a way beyond just paying for relatives' fees that we do, but we'll find a way to be part of this project. Keep up the good work.
How do we get our community to create a better future for us, by us, that is sustainable? So what I love is when I get back to the school, all sorts of things have happened and I was not there. Which is perfect, actually, because I'm not supposed to be the savior. It's supposed to be all of us by us. And yet, 18 months later, we have new ablution blocks for the first time in 50 years. Our classes are smaller. We have a library. We have books. We have shelves. Someone painted it. And if you think I have a lot of money, it was not me. Our security is improved. Our parents are coming to the school. Everyone's inspired. Our school is improving. Our last challenge is desks and chairs. At any point in our lives, we are doing one of three things. We are creating the future we want. We are telling someone to do something. And I'm going to get emotional. Yay! Or we are waiting for someone to do something. And I tell you that we are the leaders we are waiting for.
So let me unpack something for you. Already, Madam Chulumadan, so you've said it takes a village to raise a child. I had that one, but I've got another thing to say. I can say something. It says, my child is your child. Because as we are principals, the children, they are our first bosses. Mr. Panyazi, you are the second boss. Why? Because I wouldn't be standing here in front of you if there were no learners in my school. So I am who I am because of those learners. So we need to love them. We need to support them. We need to guide them. And thank you, Mr. Panyaza, because now you are considering the gender equity, that more women should be principals. Because, you know, women are the mother, they are the foundation.
There's a room full of principals whom I said they must come and witness, not just from me, but from other principals. What I'm happy about is that if you have a partner, you have a sounding board. Being a principal is a lonely job. You have all the frustrations, the challenge. I'm trusted with 924 children by this government. So all my frustration, he listens. And my school, my dream is to make it a Bacon school. And I'm scared now your invites, Mr. Lisufi, are escalating. I don't want to talk about my school and I didn't show pictures. I just want you to just come. Don't make an appointment. just come.
So from a business point of view, it's a little bit what Louise said. There's a phrase I like, which is the art of diplomacy is letting other people have your way. And so I've got no power, I've only got influence over Jane. Well, I haven't got really that much influence, but as we actually talk through things, we debate them, and so my powers of diplomacy are improved. Jane will confirm, otherwise I'll hit her, that my listening has improved. And I've been faced with a set of problems which, despite working for 42 years, have been different to anything else I've ever faced. And therefore I have to use imagination and use other people and work together, which has been brilliant. And the last thing, which isn't really a good business reason, is the Bible says the more you give, the more you get. And this is, I've never known anything like it. I only did it to put something back, and I got far more out of it than I ever put into it.
We'll never be free until the poor are free. And the only way to liberate the poor is through education. If you can't get education right, there is no way that we can fix the challenges that we face as a country. Any nation that does not choose education as a driver to prosperity, that nation will never prosper. We've done everything in our country. We've ensured that every learner is transported to school every day. We are feeding almost 1.2 million learners every day. We are providing school uniforms to all our learners that are in the no-fee paying schools. We're ensuring that all our no-fee paying schools get all the necessary support they need. But in the last 21 years, we have to admit, if our education system was a four-legged table, the two legs are broken. Our education system is standing on two legs. And those two legs that are broken, unfortunately, is township education and rural education, as well as the colored education. We are only standing on education that is in the Indian community because of their religion, and the white community because of the benefits that we have. And those two broken legs of that table, if we don't fix them, those that are in the broken communities will want to migrate to the other two remaining tables, to other remaining two legs. One way or another, those two legs will eventually go down as well. And as a country, we need to position ourselves and say, what are the better mechanisms that we can introduce to ensure that these legs that are broken can be lifted up? I'm proud that I'm standing here with an institution that is lifting up those broken legs. I'm proud that I'm standing here in the midst of people that have chosen education as their terrain to operate, to help us not to moan, to say we are in this thing together. Remember, our education system is not an education system for the few. It's an education system for all of us. If they say South Africa is number 142 compared to other countries in terms of maths and science, they don't mean you only, they mean all of us. Until we stand up together and say we can do this thing together, there is no way that we can survive. So I'm proud that I'm part of an institution that says, MEC, we are extending a helping hand. We are providing all the support you need. We are providing all the guidance you need. That in the ultimate end, it must not be where you are born that determines your destiny in life. It must be the quality of education that you have that must shape your future.
We feel very strongly tonight that we want more of you involved. So we have 296 business leaders involved, and we have a waiting list of principals who want to do this. And I know that if we have enough business leaders who say, I'm in, I'm going to commit my time, I'm going to bring some money to the table, I'm going to bring some people to the table, MEC Lesufi will help us make it possible for more principals to get the value of this program, because he gets that we cannot pay these business leaders. It's invaluable. I'm going to quote him on that forever. So we believe that we can change our education system within a decade. If we have MECs like MEC Lesufi, it's going to make it easier. It's not the case everywhere. And you are invited to join us tonight.
My name is Kokotso Mariri. I'm grade 5 learner from Sefako Mapogo Magato Primary School. Today I'm here to recite a poem about thank you. Thank you. You are one of the special people who always tries to give and give, who makes this world a better place just by the way you live. You also care for others. You do the best, the very best. If someone is in need of help, you are there to lend a hand. You never ask for anything or want something in return. You do the best, the very best. If someone is in need of help, you are there to lend a hand. Thank you.
So, Koketso, thank you. Because we were trying to figure out, how do you say thank you? To someone who, I'm going to try and just speak despite my tears. The last 4 years have been tough. And when it gets really tough, I have one place I go, and that's to Bob. And we're going to miss you.
Thank you.
We had the privilege tonight of listening to two incredible leaders in our country. Tuli Madonsela was phenomenal as usual. The MEC for Education, Panyaza Lesufi, was brilliant as well. He was inspirational, he spoke from the heart. And if he manages to pull off what he's trying to achieve, I think this country has a bright future.
Yeah, a very inspiring night where one cannot stop learning. I mean, I've been involved in this program for quite some time, but I cannot say I've learned a lot and I'm enough of it. You know, attending all these sessions, all these celebrations, it's made me to grow more and to be able to put whatever I learned from these sessions back to my school.
I think it was very inspirational, having been through a partnership program and seeing the benefits, and every partnership is unique. It's beautiful to see every school interaction is special with its own character, and it's really an amazing program.
It's my second time attending this Symphonia function, and to be honest with you, it's amazing to see what happens behind the scenes of schools, because I mean, I've attended private schools my whole life, and attending these functions actually opened my eyes to see that, oh no, this is actually what happens at government schools or public schools, and how much work goes into training teachers and principals, and it's just astonishing, and I think I'm very lucky to attend.
But having to hear the MEC speak and give his endorsement to the program makes the picture a whole lot bigger in terms of what it is that we're doing. I mean, looking at the contrast between the schools that are privileged, which is 20%, versus the 80% that still need more work, it certainly feels like one is making a difference. I mean, coupled with what Louise was suggesting, that it's one school at a time, but had the opportunity to go to better schools. It was obviously a different time. I suppose things were much better then. And also attend varsity. I sort of felt the need, an obligation really, for us who have had the opportunity to go to school and go to varsity, that we have to do something about the education system today. It can't be left to the government. It certainly can't be left to only a few white messiahs always coming into the school to try and assist, when we can sit back and watch Dina, who's white, who's Jewish, coming to my school in Fosterus to make a difference when I can drive in on the weekend up and down with my fancy car, when I should actually be making a difference in the communities that I grew up in and the people that I know.